Hello everyone, this is FallenDice and welcome to episode 11 of Burpcraft Feed the Beast with FallenDice Season 2. So, we have power. But I'm not using it yet. Still over here, everything's still running off of lava here. I'm being very careful in how I expand just in the interest of the server and not wanting to possibly do things that cause those orphan chunks or all those weird crazy things that happens with these FTB mods and stuff on servers. But I have been busy working on expanding over here. When we left the last time, all we had was the nuclear reactor and one tree farm. So, yes, changes. So first off, apparently this is the only non-vanilla tree that actually works with this mod. I have no idea why this one works, but none of the other Biomes O Plenty ones do. But I guess it's probably because they're Biomes O Plenty. I don't think this rubber tree comes from Biomes O Plenty. I could be wrong, but maybe that's probably why. So we've got regular oak trees, which grow into giant oak trees, rubber trees, pine trees, and birch trees. And then I just had some extra space, so I just repeated, the oak and the birch because I felt like it. Um, and they are fully automated now and all turned off at the moment. But over here we have our planter and our harvester, which right now is shut off using the redstone wireless from Gregtech again. And what I did, it's an interesting thought, and I'm probably going to have to go through and do some changes on my reactor. But I foresee a time when I may start to forget what the frequencies of these are. So, this frequency, can you guess what I used to set this frequency? Birch saplings. Duh. So that made it really easy for me to know exactly what it is. And then, of course, the other ones were the other saplings. So what I may do for my plants is maybe one of them will be an iridium nugget and one of them will be like, or not iridium, a uranium nugget, and one could be uranium ingot or something along those lines. We'll see. Over here, we are in the process of starting our our farms for all of our other stuff. So this is all wheat. This one has basically 5 spots of potatoes and 4 spots of carrots or so. I will be putting planters in there at some point here, and then the harvesters. Right now it's just here because I had to do a lot of manual planning to get the numbers up for this. Over here I have some sugarcane. Now the planters can't plant the sugarcane, but the harvesters do a great job of harvesting them. I know that's not the most optimal way, but I did not want to put water on the outsides, and I wanted to make sure that the outsides were fully... It looks good from a distance, even if it doesn't look quite so good from above. But yes, when the harvester's in place, it will actually break them off at the second block and third block level and harvest those, and will not touch the bottom ones, so they will continue to grow. And the same goes for our cactuses as well. So it allows us to harvest cactus with the exact same way. And then over here, as soon as a pumpkin or melon grows, it will also harvest those, and of course leaving the stock. So I basically can now automate all of my normal farm products like this. Now over here, I plan on doing my other food products. Well, chicken, pigs, cows, and mushrooms. Now cows and mushrooms both give us steak, but the reason why I decided to put mushrooms in is that I will get my steak from my cows, but I will have maybe a chest or something there with bowls in it, so I can just make some bowls of soup from the mushrooms. It's silly, but I figure I needed this. I needed to take up the space, and what that ends up leaving is 8 other blocks. And since there's 16 colors of wool, what we're going to put is 2 sheep in each one, 2 colors in each one of these blocks. And then I'll manually breed them up to a decent amount number, and then we'll also have we'll automate the harvesting of wool. Now for the animals here, my plan is, let's see, I think I have, yes. Although maybe what I should do is dirt for now because I don't know exactly. So what the plan kind of is for this is to cordon this off. Now there's also some, MineFactory Reloaded has a lot of cool blocks. One of them allows it to basically differentiate between a grown cow and a not grown cow. So I can have a breeder thing over here. Say we divide it up here in half. And we got the thing over here is going to breed them. So we'll have... Now there's the interesting thing. I know there's a way to do this, but if it starts pulling out the adult cows, what'll there be to breed? I need to make sure I can keep a breeding set that's not going to be able to get sucked through as an adult. I'm going to have to think about this. I know there's a way to do it, but the plan had been, babies, over here. When they become adults or something, they'll get sucked in over here, and that's where they'll get butchered. We'll figure that out. When I get to that part here, and I hope to do it in this episode, we'll do that. So that's kind of the way it'll be for the pigs and the cows. Like I said, maybe we'll let free reign mushrooms for soup. And then we'll set up some type of automatic chicken farm. So we'll get both eggs and cooked chicken. And then, of course, the sheep. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and craft up the planters for these here, and then the harvesters for over there, so we can get these things set up. And then, of course, all of the wireless redstone, so I can control it back from our base, or wherever we end up moving the control station to, which may end up being in here at some point. We may end up just making a too high wall with like entrances on the 4 sides, but have all of our control panels in here. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to make this a focal point of my base because, again, it's just the basement. So maybe when we'll still do something in the house over there. We'll figure it out. So anyways, yeah. Let me get all the stuff here. We'll automate these harvesters and whatnot. And then when I come back, we'll pick on one of these projects here. Maybe we'll do the sheep first because that'll be the easiest one, is harvesting, because there won't be any breeding involved. So we'll get these pens set up, stock them with sheep, and then we'll go over the new block that we're going to be using to harvest all of this stuff. And then after that, we'll move on to those. So anyway, I'm going to get busy, but I will be back in a few. Okay, yep. There we are running, so now it's going to slowly start harvesting, well, harvesting what it can reach. So you can see this is in range, that's in range, that's not in range to plant. So I need to go get some more upgrades, because that is definitely not enough, but we have these now in place. There's our wirestone again on the back of each one of the harvesters. Simple item tesseract on the very back of the harvesters. Nice and compact. And then these two, like over on the tree area, I have the planter receiving power, but I already forgot that I'm going to have to change this up. I need to actually have the harvester send the crops over here back into here to be replanted, and then the excess will get sent through there. So, minor tweak. But anyway, we are almost to the point of basically automating this part of our storage now. So every time I flip the switch on, it'll automatically start planting and harvesting, so that's going to give us all of our renewable growing resources. And then next, it's time to start working on the living types. So let me fix this real fast. Not really fix it, but we'll upgrade it get this all working completely, and I will be right back.
Well, so since we have all this working so well, I started looking into this next part here. Now, how to get our food and wool supplies. Now, the easy part about setting this part here up is the actual harvesting. There's basically two types of machines that we're going to use. For the sheep, it's going to be real simple because we're not going to be doing any breeding. It's just going to be collecting wool, and that's just using a rancher. And let's go ahead and look that up real fast. And not too difficult. We've done all this before. Do need a pump. The interesting thing about the rancher is it will actually get the liquids as well. And I believe it does normal stuff besides liquids. I may have to go back and check, because I know I can get milk from the cows and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it also does the wool. And so we'll just stick that right back here like we do our other ones. I'm going to have to look at it because I don't know if it's going to have the range upgrades like you guys do, which could cause an issue. How does this keep happening? This is weird. Like, I'm used to losing tilled soil. I keep gaining it. Like, every time a pumpkin drops down and then it harvests the pumpkin, it seems like it wants to leave tilled soil on the ground. It's the weirdest thing. I always thought it used to destroy tilled ground. But, you know, might be something new. But anyway, yeah, if it doesn't have a range upgrade, the other part, which is the grinder, which is what we'll use over here for the pigs, cows, mushrooms maybe, and chickens, has a 5x5 radius. So obviously that's not going to be enough to take advantage of the amount of space we have. So what that may end up meaning is, instead of over in the back like the other ones have been, that may be something I may just have to put underneath the ground here. And if I put like a fence down the middle and divide it up, and I can even better segregate, divide up the different colors of wool here. So it won't just be like brown and light brown milling together. It'll be light brown, brown. And I can even then do it in the order that you find it in the creative mode, which is, I guess, kind of what most people use for the Minecraft colors, is how it comes up in creative. And it still wouldn't reach everything, but if I did like two groups, maybe, and I put the fence up on the inside and leave like a block on the outside, that might also ensure I don't run out of grass. But I don't think I need to put a ton of sheep in here. To the point where I maybe don't have any grass left. Because if this thing just passively runs, over time I'll get all the wool. So that shouldn't be a problem. So let me check that out real fast. But over here is where our other issue is. And I was just kind of playing around with this a little bit in creative, and I kind of had how it's going to work out for this. The only issue is the babies still keep glitching out. And I believe in 1.6 that's fixed, but I don't know when that is. And I really don't want to have to come down here every time I log in and go run around and chase down a bunch of baby animals and kill them. It's just annoying. I was doing that up at my other area for a while. I've tried doing like, I have the saw. Let's do this capital. I have the saw, and so I was like taking, you know, say 2 blocks. I think I can do it with dirt here just to demonstrate real fast. Alright, yeah. So, like coming over here, and since that would be the inside corner, you know, like this, I then, in addition, went to the back side like this. So it still was a thin layer, and I was using glass with like a wood on top, And I thought maybe because even though it was thin, it was still considered like 2 blocks. They couldn't glitch through it. Nope, not the case. So that leaves me with the choice of setting something up right now that unfortunately is not or is still going to cause me to have to chase things down and kill it on a regular basis, or something really ugly. I could go 2 full blocks and I think that would be safe, but it would, I don't know, it would be ugly and I don't want it to be ugly. So what I'm thinking, and the reason why I even had gotten into using these covers and stuff in the first place, which is something I really honestly don't want to do a lot of, because we are going to be switching from Imbus or something mini blocks. Let's see if I can find it. We're going to be switching from that, yeah, Imbus Core to Forge something or other, which has a lot more functionality. It's awesome, but I guess it's not quite ready yet. So it's one of those things where if you build it now using the wrong thing, when we update, I'm going to come down and everything, all the walls will be gone of animals running everywhere. I'll have to go through, kill everything. It's going to be annoying. So I'm trying to do as little. That's kind of also why we haven't built our house yet, is I'm waiting for the final version of what we're going to be using so I don't have to redo everything and have stuff disappear, and just a pain. So, but I don't want to wait for that. I want my leather and stuff like that. So, let's see. Let's grab some fencing for now. The thing is I liked how it looked. It was a pretty, it did look pretty. It looked nice. The only issue was that again, I'm going to have to replace it. So I think for now, we're going to go with fences. And then we may come back and revisit this later. And what I may just have to do is I'm just going to have to kill baby animals. And that's nothing much I can do about it. So let me show you the plan that I actually have for how this is going to function. And eventually, yes, I'm going to have to put in a couple gates in here. And I finally got around to just doing it. And I made me an axe. A real axe. Oops, I didn't open it. There we go. I got the one from Tinker's Construct, but it's like a fancy axe. So it wants to destroy a lot of stuff, and so a lot of times I just can't use it. Okay, so here's the thing. The breeder is going to breed in a 5x5 area, and the chronotyper, which is how we're going to move things, is also a 5x5 area. So if I want anything larger than, say, a 5x5 to begin with, I run the risk of extra babies being left in here. So if a baby's mom is stuck here in the corner and the baby stays near it, it could actually grow. And I want to keep the same number of breeding adults here, and that's how I'm going to limit how this works. I don't want this to become an exponentially growing monstrosity, so to say. Actually, let me do that one there. I want it to be controlled and always kind of putting out the same amount, and over time it will produce what I want. So let's see. I'm going to keep the babies are going to tend to stay over here because they want to stay by their parents. So we'll put you here. And this is where our machines will go. And then the same over here. 1, 2. Let's do that here. So what we're going to end up having is, and power as well, because we're going to have to get power coming from down below. So we'll just kind of put that here for now. And I do have a shovel, but we'll have a breeder here. And it will also be hooked up. So this is probably going to end up being a false cover over here, which I can't do. Darn it. No, I can do it with facades. Okay. So I'm going to basically having the harvester not even the harvest. I may have to just come manually do this over time. I'm gonna have to keep bringing in wheat from our farms and fill in this, because right now I don't have the ME system going through everything, and I may not do that at all, just because of the amount of power it uses and the possibility of it causing issues for the large area that we're inside here, and dealing with chunks and keeping things loaded. And this is all loaded and all, but I'm trying to be very careful how I proceed with this. So we'll manually do it from here. Right here is where the chronotyper is going to go, and it does one of the two things. It either moves babies or adults. So from here, we're going to have it move babies. So whenever the babies are born, they'll pop into this here. This is our holding cell. And then over here, we'll have another chronotyper, and it's going to move adults. And because it's got a 5x5 range, it's not going to reach those ones. So it will take our babies that grow into adults here, and we'll pull them over into this area. And this is going to be where all of our adults are. Unfortunately, it's still only a 5x5, so I wish I could do something that's going to cover this entire area, but it won't. But the cool part about that, though, is that I will end up having animals in all 3 pens at all times while the system's running. So I don't have to have just like an empty thing. So eventually they'll be moving around, and as they get more and more, they'll wander closer, and as soon as they get within a 5-block range, it'll zap them. The items will then get sent over to a tesseract, which will shoot them over to here. Well, she is definitely looking ready to go. So let's walk through what we've got here. And this was kind of the design I had in mind, and I do like how it looks. Right now, of course, it's done with fence posts, and I'm going to need to come in and put something on top of these. Right now, obviously, let's turn off the... there. Can't jump up over these, but I could jump over there. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll just use my hacksaw, and maybe we'll take some regular oak planks and just put it on the top here. That way it'll be too high to jump over, so we make sure nothing goes through. I'm going to have to deal with the calves being able to jump out for now, and I don't know, it just is what it is. Eventually, once I turn it off, the calves will all grow up, and then I'll have all adults, and I think the adults for the most part stay inside. So we'll see. So what we got here, got wheat in the breeder, and then we got these suckers here, and I don't think it can move players. No. So it's going to suck the babies into here. Once they become adults, they'll get sucked into here. Over here I've got 2 sewers. So we'll be collecting sewage, which I will eventually be turning into fertilizer, which we'll be able to use for over there. Not that I really need it, but we have it. And then it comes over here into our mob grinder, which right now doesn't have power, and the output goes straight into our tesseract going in. And it's repeated on all 4 of these. So chickens are going to be working the same. We'll be breeding the chickens. I was trying to think, first I was thinking like, how to deal with the eggs, throwing the eggs. And I realized I just breed them with seeds. Now what I am going to need to do is put maybe 4 obsidian transport pipes underneath here, and then attach some Antarctic gates to power them, and that should allow me to collect all the things that would drop down here. So it'll suck in all of our eggs, that way I'm not having them laying all the way around. And then again, it'll do the whole route through here till they're grinded and their goodies go away. Now I could also take the sludge that comes out of this, and apparently if I put it in a sludge boiler, I have a chance of getting like dirt or stone, or I don't know. I've realized with the tree farms, if I just leave it in there, nothing happens. It doesn't have to go anywhere. I can always put a void pipe on there as well. So here's how we have it all set up. 1 energy tesseract for each group: chickens, pigs, cows, mushrooms. And I haven't finished this yet. I still need to go over and get the wireless set up. So we're going to have the redstone display here with the wireless output over here feeding in, so I can turn off this Again, we'll set this to have a high enabled, so it has to be turned on for this to put power out. And what that'll affect is the breeder and the grinder. It won't affect these chronotypers at all, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think it's going to use it. I don't think it uses a ton of power on these, and if it does, I guess I'll find out about that. In which case, at that point, I may just go ahead and attach this instead of coming out of here to come off one of these things, and then it'll all get shut off. Which I should probably just do that anyway. I just liked how this looked. And then of course we have our sewers right there, and I just kind of linked all those since it's all going to be one output instead of having a tesseract for each. I just ran the pipe to one central tesseract, and that's going to send it to sewage, which we will be in maybe our next episode be working on a liquid storage room, because we're already starting to get some decent numbers on our liquids. I could even get liquid meat if I wanted to. I'm not, but I could. But of course we will be getting soup, so that's going to need a liquid. So there's needs for it. So my next thing is I'm going to go get my safari nets. I'm going to go capture at least 2 of everything. And I think what I'll do probably for the first part is turn this around so for now it's not going to suck anything out until I can get, like, say 10, maybe 12 of each of the animals. So I get 12 at least of each of these animals, and that should be good enough to do the whole process kind of going through here. I think the 6 per breeding cycle, and I think it takes, if I remember right, for like the cows, you get 4 breeding cycles in before they become adults. But this will work good. It's nice, tight, compact, and it's still it's fitting in what we've got going here. And then that's just going to leave these 8 here, which will be sheep. We'll get to that in a sec. First, though, let me go make my redstone. I forgot all about the redstone. Get this set up. Get my animals, and I'll come back and we'll take a peek and see this in action. And here we are, and I think we're going to have to call this episode right here because we are looking to be running a little bit long. But as you see, I took these conveyors, colored them green so it kind of matches the grass, but this actually solved our problem we were having before, because it's going to keep the babies off the outside fences, and if they glitch through the inside ones, they're just going to get killed with the grinder, or put back with the adults where they'll get sucked right back through with the chronotyper. So that fixes that. If you look over here, I think I'm going to have to thin these herds a little bit, the breeding ones, because it seems like we're definitely maybe putting out too many babies right now. So I'm probably going to try and cut it down to 10 at first, see how that works, and then maybe down to 8 if that continues to happen. The other thing is mob essence. I realize now I'm wasting mob essence because I'm full, so I need to, between now and our next episode, I'm just going to put up a temporary iron tank so I can start pumping all our mob essence into it for future use. That way we're not just wasting it. But our next episode, though, we're actually between now and our next episode, I'm just going to go ahead and put in the sheep. I don't really think that needs to really be part of one. It's just going to be 2 pens in each block, and we'll put a harvester on each one to, or maybe even we'll, no, I don't want to put conveyor belts in those because we need the grass for them to regrow their wool. So I'll probably just put a harvester for each one of them, and they'll continue to pick them up like that. And then we'll start, I think, on the inside in our next episode. Maybe our liquid room first, as we're starting to develop a need for one, but we'll see. But anyway, that we will go ahead and call this episode for now. Really kind of moving along now. Went from a single tree farm to all of this. Now we're getting food and all of our other needs and stuff for future. And I might even start using pumpkins for some lighting issues or lighting things as well. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Alright, so another episode in the books, and This one was a little bit different. It was shorter again, so I was kind of happy to kind of get into that 30 minute mark there. But we solved our food problem when it comes to our meat. So we got ourselves some chicken, some pork chops, some steak, which is good, and we're on our way to getting all of the colorful wool and all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy with that, and I think we're about ready to move on to the surface. I think our new dome needs a little decorating on the top, and actually needs to be made. We still don't have the dome completed, so that'll be our next one. Up in the top right there, we have scenes from last week's episode of Burpcraft Feed the Beast with FallenDice Season 2. We were playing with the new nuclear reactor, getting that old queasy feeling, and I enjoyed that. I'm kind of still excited to know that we actually have nuclear power now on this, I should say on the server, but in my base. It's been on the server for a little bit. So if you go ahead and click on that, that will take you to the playlist for our second season of Burpcraft Feed the Beast with FallenDice. And in the bottom right, we have some scenes from our episode 11 of the original Feed the Beast with FallenDice. And this was kind of where I was expanding the power in my temple and kind of getting the plan for where our bees were going to go on our alvearies and such. So if you want to go ahead and click on that, that will take you to the playlist for Season 1. Go ahead and catch up on some of those old episodes, or just revisit some of the good ones. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.